All right, welcome everybody to Geek Vice, the official sponsor of the back alley dice game behind Lou's Bar and Grill.
I like that. Have you been to Lou's Bar and Grill?
Just the back alley.
Okay, all right. Welcome
Somebody owes me
everybody.
$50 there.
Welcome everybody to Geek Vice. This is episode 55, a podcast by a few geeks just trying to be heard in a world now flooded with geeks. I'm your host, Morph, your bartender for the zombie apocalypse. And my other host is Kip, a man boldly going from the couch to the kitchen and back again. Good evening, Kip.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I call out the beer that I'm drinking, which I show no label because technically this is not a labeled beer. This is a beer that a friend of ours, Trevor, and his buddy Andy have brewed, and so I have a little home brew here. And it's kind of like an IPA. It's a little hoppy. They add a little extra honey to it, which Trevor says brings out the alcohol content. To me, it just takes the bite off of the bitterness of an IPA. So that makes it a lot better. I like it. So you can hit him up for some more beers. So there you go. There you go, Trevor.
Some more? I didn't get any. That's just not right.
Gotta have connections. I got these when I was trick-or-treating with the kids on Halloween. So kids go up and get candy from them. I go up and get a six-pack of beer. How about that?
See, you know how to do trick-or-treating right.
That's the way you trick-or-treat.
That's it.
So, Kip, what have you been up to this last week, man?
Well, this last week was a lot of fun because I was getting over a head cold. Still not completely over it, but I'm doing a lot better. I'm almost not grouchy. It's really close.
I almost don't want to bite your head off.
Exactly.
Only almost, though.
Exactly. You know, and what was going to take the edge off my week was getting Call of Duty Advanced Warfare from Amazon. I did the pre-order, so it would come on Tuesday. You know, and I was sick on Tuesday, so I stayed home, and I was thinking, man, as soon as that thing shows up, I'm going to play, and it didn't show up. And I thought, well, you know what, I did wait until like Thursday or something to put in the pre-order. Maybe it's just lagging. So I kept checking the tracking on it, and it still said it was in transit to UPS.
Well, that's
like, all right. Yeah, so Wednesday, get home from work, still hadn't come. Still says it's in transit to UPS. It's like, son of a gun, what the hell's going on? So Thursday, I'm checking the thing all day long, and it still hasn't moved off of in transit. So I took Friday off, because, you know, I'd only work 3 days that week. I might as well take Friday off.
Right.
And so I got on the chat with Amazon and chatted with a person named Priscilla. There's your air quotes. And they told me that it got lost in transit. So she used that word loosely. She said that I have two options. Either they can send me out a new one, or they could refund the total purchase. And since I'm an impatient son of a bitch, I said, let's refund it, and then I'll just go to Target and buy it. So they refunded it. I went to Target, and I actually saved $7.
Oh, holy
and
shit.
I got it the day I purchased it. I was going to do a review of it, but since I didn't get it until Friday, and then I was still wore out from being sick, I didn't spend a whole lot of time playing it over the weekend. So my review is it fits in the disc player.
So, in other words, what you're saying is next week we'll be able to talk about Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Maybe, unless we have our special guests on, and
It's true.
then all that's out the window. I could care less then.
That is true. Then it'll have to wait. So now you could have a couple of weeks then. So there you go. You have some time to get that in.
Yeah, maybe in a couple of weeks I'll actually have like 2 hours of playing time in. You never know.
Well, it's kind of funny that your week was kind of revolved around a video game because mine kind of did too. I since I have this fancy new laptop here with lots of space and a very good video card in it, I decided, well, what the hell? I'm gonna go I'm gonna go install Steam on my laptop and get into this Steam stuff that everyone keeps talking about. Well, while I was doing that, I got that all installed, got my account all set up, and then over the Halloween weekend or whatever, I saw that they had some pretty massive sales. One of them being Witcher 2, which normally goes for $30, that was $4. So I'm like, well, shit, I can't pass up a chance to get a game that I've heard so much about for $4. So I went and bought Witcher 2. And after that, I went out and bought a controller to hook into my laptop so I can actually play with a controller instead of a mouse and keyboard. And I have to say, I'm not very far in. I know the Witcher games are 60 to 80 hour long games. I mean, they're massively huge. And I'm only a couple hours in, but I'm going to say it's a pretty fun hack and slash game. But I'm hoping that it gets a whole lot better because I'm getting a little bored with it.
That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I heard all these things about how the game is very open-ended and it's got a whole bunch of different endings to it, and depending on how you interact with people could lead to different things. But right now, it's all very, very linear. And it's basically just, hey, go do this, kill everybody on the process, then go back to this, kill everybody while you get there. So I'm hoping...
That's usually how my grocery trips, my grocery store trips go.
I'm hoping that right now the story is just still in the infant stages and it hasn't opened up yet, or that it will open up. I'm hoping. So I'm gonna keep playing it because I am having fun with it, and I kind of want to master this game, but I'd like to feel like I have a better understanding of the controls and see if that helps me play better. And I know I just have to practice at it to keep doing it. So I'm gonna keep playing. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe check back in a couple of weeks when you talk about Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Maybe I'll have more to go with Witcher 2. I'll tell you guys if I still like it or not.
That works. Yeah, I almost pulled the trigger on that when it was wasn't it $5 through Xbox Live?
Yeah, I missed that. I saw it on there, and I didn't do it when I saw it because the kids were down here playing on there. And then when I got back on, it was no longer on sale.
Oh, those kids, those meddling kids.
And the dog too.
Yeah, I missed out on it too. Not because of kids, mostly because I was just damn lazy.
Yeah, that happens.
I was probably playing something else and went, next time. And the next time never came.
That's always the problem I run into is like I get one game and I'm like, yeah, I'm playing this one right now. I don't need to get another game. And then it's like, then I just start, I don't know, like Dishonored. I've still got it on my Xbox and I played a little bit more of it. I like it. But I was just like, I think I'll try something else.
Yeah, I was that way with Diablo 3. I got it from the library, played it for quite a while. I was like, I really like this, so I purchased it. And it hasn't gone in the player since I bought it. It will. One day it will, but
Yep.
Right now I just have to load it up, shoot people. That's what I like to do.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So, you seen any good movies lately?
I have. We went and saw Interstellar on Friday night. And I got to say, I was pretty excited about seeing this movie. You know, saw the trailer releases and everything on that. It's like, oh, yeah, this movie's going to rock. So expectations were high.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to report that it met my expectations. I really did enjoy that movie. I'm going to try not to spoil it, so I'll just tell you that everybody that was cast in the movie did a fantastic job. Matthew McConaughey is always good. You know, I think he just plays himself.
Yeah.
I think his character is just, this is how I would have done it, you know, which is fine. It works. You know, it took place on a farm. He's from Texas. It works. The premise was really good. You know, we're running out of resources. The Earth is pretty much trying to kill us all off, which who could blame the Earth? And they got to go out and find a habitable planet to take everybody to. And once he gets in the ship and they start, you know, going through the solar system, especially when they get around Saturn, the cinematography there is just fantastic. The CGI is just beautiful. And then as they go to these alien planets, it's like, wow, this is just outstanding. They did a great job with that. There's a couple places in the movie where it's like, I don't know, there could be a shark being jumped here somewhere, but you know, I just let it go. It's like I'm enjoying this, and then when the whole thing ended, it's like, that was really, really great. I don't think I could sit through it again, but it was a really good movie. So rewatchability not very high, but the entire experience was great. We saw it in a, you know what the AMC Prime is?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
It's this theater inside the theater that has the leather recliners with
Okay.
and the sound system that vibrates the seats.
Okay.
And during takeoff, everything rattled and shook. Why they just like, wow, this is on a small scale what it would actually be, what it'd be like to be in the cockpit of that ship, you know, going through the atmosphere. Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, it wasn't nearly as violent as what it probably is, but it was still, it was like, it was immersion into what you were watching, so that was pretty cool. So if you get a chance to see a movie like that in Amazon and AMC Prime, do it. It's awesome. But I recommend Interstellar. I thought it was great.
Do they stop at multiple planets on there, or is it just like, hey, we're going and then we find a planet?
You get to see 3 alien worlds at the surface in the movie. And one's frozen, one's all water, and then one seems to be very rocky. And, you know, that's just a side note to the human story of the whole movie, and there's some major...
Is there an like, do they... Well, I mean, I'm trying to ask the questions without spoiling it. Is this kind of a happy ending type movie, or is this a we're gonna leave it, we're just gonna end it, and you get to figure out what happens? Because there's talks about there being a sequel to this movie now because it did so well. Is this a movie that could have a sequel and it be able to like pick up right where this movie left off?
Actually, where they did in the movie, there's a good place for a sequel. As far as the overlying story of what the whole movie was about, there is closure on that.
Okay.
But there are some things that happen that you don't get closure on that a sequel could give, which would be kind of nice. Because there's towards the end there, you're like, man, I really want to know what happens to this person. I really, you know, and it's one of those things where it kind of haunted me for a couple of days. It's like, I really want this person to be okay. I don't know if this person's going to be okay or not. So yeah, I think that'd be a great place to pick it right up at, because they just left it there. It's like, okay, I'm going to go take care of this. Movie ends. It's like, okay,
huh?
It worked. But yeah. But without giving it away, yes, there is a place for her to have a sequel.
Cool. Well, I'll have to check that one out. Add that to my list.
Since you never get to the movie theater.
Yeah, although there is a chance here in the near future that I will be going to see a movie in the movie theater.
Big Hero 6?
Well, there's that one, which I do. My 5-year-old has said he wants to see that, so there's a chance I'll take him to see that one. But my wife and I, there was a fundraiser at our daycare where our kids go, and my wife and I ended up winning. There was a silent auction thing there, and my wife and I ended up winning a free night of babysitting by one of the teachers that is there, and then a gift card to AMC and some restaurant. So, well, now we have no excuse to not go out and see a movie. So.
Exactly. It's like a free date night.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a babysitter to watch the kids for a few hours and then pay the astronomical prices to go see a movie in the movie theater, it's like, why don't we just wait till the kids go to bed and then we'll watch a movie here at home for free?
Why don't we just wait till the kids graduate from college, then we'll go see a movie?
Yeah, exactly. That's the cheaper way to go. Hell, I'm pretty sure college costs less than going to the movies now.
I don't know. Exaggerate much?
Only a little bit. Only a little bit. So I might not be able to go see movie theater, but last week when we were talking to Tori James, she was a big Doctor Who fan, and she mentioned that the season finale, the second part of the season finale, was going to be this last Saturday, just a couple of days ago. And I had made the comment to her that I was several episodes behind, and she didn't think I was going to catch up. I don't think she believed that I would catch up. I watched 4 episodes of Doctor Who over this last weekend and got all caught up, watched the season finale. That was well worth it, and I enjoyed watching them back to back. If I would have watched the first part of that season finale and had to wait for the second part, wait a whole week, I probably would have been really angry. So
nobody would like you when you're angry.
Nobody liked me when I'm angry. So it was really good. I thought they did a great job with this. They reintroduced a character from previous seasons. It was very well done. The ending of it was really good. You always have the Doctor and you always have the companion, and in this case, through most of the cases, they at some point the Doctor and the companion have to go their separate ways. The Doctor can't keep taking these people, or the companion finally says, you know what, I'm done traveling around with you. Well, this one almost kind of came into the point where it was like I really kind of want you to come along, but I know that you would rather be doing this over here, and or rather stay here with this person. And the companion looks at him and says, well, yeah, I want to stay with that person, but oh wait, but he's dead, but you don't know that he's dead. You think he's come back, so I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. So both people are telling each other what they want, what they think the other person wants to hear, and you're just looking at this going, will you guys get over this and just move on? It was very well done. I love Doctor Who, and I don't understand why anyone wouldn't like Doctor Who.
I can't say that I like or dislike it. I just haven't spent the time. I need to do that, so you and I at least have that in common to talk about.
Well, you can. The nice thing is, this is the fun part about Doctor Who is this season has ended, so we've got a little while. But then around Christmas time, they're going to have a Christmas episode. These Christmas episodes are a lot of fun because they are one and done type stories. The only thing that ties them to the universe is the Doctor is in them. Sometimes a companion's there, but that's it. So I'll find when that episode's going to air, and you can watch that one and see what you think, because this one, the scenes of it kind of makes it look like, what was it? Was it The Thing? Stephen King's The Thing, or was it It?
The Clown is It.
Okay, it wasn't the clown one. Which one took place in the North Pole, or in the Antarctic?
Oh, that's The Thing. Yeah.
The Thing. Okay, so it looks very The Thing type. But in the previews, Santa Claus walked out of one of the rooms, so you're like, oh, okay, how's this really gonna fit together? It'll be a lot of fun. So we'll have to watch that one.
All right. Well, I will definitely do that. I think that'd be fun.
I mean, anytime you can mix The Thing and Santa Claus together, I mean, why not, right?
That sounds like a porn. But then again, everything does.
And there you go. First porn reference.
Drink up.
So, we've done several interviews with people in our 55 episodes of Geek Vice. This is the first time we've actually had someone reach out to us and say, hey, will you review a book or a couple of books that I've written? We were contacted by Patrick Scattergood, who is, I'm going to call him the founder of Dark Pond Creations, because I think his little baby, I think he's started this thing, and it's a comic publisher based out of the UK, and he's just starting, so he's got just a couple of books out now, but he's got a lot more on the way. So he sent us a couple of books here. The first one is called Flesh Tones.
Could be a porn.
Yeah, definitely could be a porn. This is a collection of a couple of shorter stories. It's kind of one comic, completely independent of each other. The first one is called The Mansion, and it's written by Patrick Scattergood and illustrated by Lee Taylor. And Kip, what do you think about this story?
You know, I liked The Mansion.
Yeah.
And I also liked Flesh Tones. I guess that's what we're talking about.
Right.
Actually, it's the two stories. It's The Mansion and Real Horror, right?
And Real Horror, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll talk about The Mansion first. I thought it was a pretty... Let me see what I made notes. Yes, I actually made notes. Can you believe that? The notes I made were, it reminded me a little bit of Night of the Living Dead. A little. Not like it was a complete rip-off of it or anything like that. It just kind of reminded me of it. But that's not a bad thing. I think the writing for the comic, I think Patrick did a very nice job there. And the story, I like the idea of making the ultimate sacrifice for the people you love.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah, and considering I just referenced the Night of the Living Dead and then talked about, sacrificing for the one you love, kind of gives you an idea what it's about. But, it was done really well. I know you had a little bit of trouble with the artwork, but my thinking is that artwork was actually done by the main character trying to write down what happened, and he actually did the drawing himself while he laid there dying. So I could be wrong there, but that's the way I saw it. What did you think?
That brought up a good point. It very well could be that that's what he was going for. Because overall, the art on the book, I didn't have the whole thing. It was just the way the zombies were portrayed, and I guess we should probably talk about what this story's about.
I guess I forgot to mention that.
The story is about uh, the a couple, a man and woman, who have moved into a mansion, and they're all of a sudden they see these zombies starting to just engulf the house or around the house, and there's no
That's the
way for
part
them.
that reminded me of Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, there's no way for them to get out. There's no, they know that they aren't both going to survive, and so the husband runs off and tells the wife that he's going to draw their attention and she should run and get away. This and so the way it's written, it's written as if you're reading the last letter from the husband to the wife as he's been attacked by the zombies, and he's kind of laying there writing this last his last love letter type thing. And it's really good. I really like the writing. I thought the writing was very well done, and the art for the most part was very well done. The one problem, when they started showing the zombies up close, it had this. I didn't feel like I was looking at a decaying flesh zombie type thing. I felt like I was looking at, well, honestly, I was looking at my 2-year-old's pictures. I mean, and that's not to make it sound like it was a 2-year-old's drawings. It was just very, you couldn't necessarily make out what it was you were looking for. And I think that was a conscious effort. I think that that's the way the art was, that's the way the artist, Lee Taylor, wanted them to look, because each one of the zombies that he showed in a close-up looked just like that. So there was a consistency to it. So he was doing this on purpose, and it was probably to try to get that meaning, that feeling of these things are dead and they're not just, to get that these are zombies across in the art. I just didn't feel it. I mean, I don't. And maybe it could also be that I've got a little bit more history with zombies in a black and white comic book, because I'm over 120 or 100. I'm up to date on my Walking Dead comic book, and that is again another zombie book, but the zombies in there have a different feel. And it could also be that he was just trying to make sure his looked completely different from that. I'm not saying that he's a bad artist by any means, because overall I really liked the art in the book. I just didn't like how the zombies looked.
Well, they're I know what you're saying, but at least they're not stick figures with a trucker hat that says "I heart brains" or something. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I think he went out of his way to make them look like that, and I was not distracted by it at all. Especially towards when I read the end, I went back and looked through all the art, and it's like, okay, now it makes a lot of sense to me, and so I think overall it just worked.
Well, and we can't spoil the last panel, because the last panel is kind of the linchpin to the whole story.
Right.
But from even the zombies in that last panel, like, it just made it, like, that just hit home. That was like the pow. This is, I mean, really good. A really good story. I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
The other story in this book, Real Horror, this one was my favorite.
That's funny, because that's the first thing I wrote in my notes. That was my favorite of the two.
This one was my favorite of the two of them. The Mansion is a very straightforward. This is what it is. We're telling a story here.
Right.
Real Horror felt like we were setting up an epic event or an epic story that could be told, or maybe we were just running an introduction to some ultimate bad guy, some Satan type character. again, this book or this story was written by Patrick Scattergood, but this one was illustrated by Dan Charnley, and I apologize, Dan, if I mispronounced your name.
He's not really sorry, Dan.
Oh, I hate Dan. No, this was really good. This was kind of written. I don't know how would you. I don't know really how to describe the way this was written.
Yeah, that's a I don't know either. All I know was when I got done, I wanted more, and I guess that's what you want when you do it. I agree with you. I think it's an introduction, issue, and it did its job. I want to know more.
Yeah.
I have my guesses, but I want to know for sure, and I wanted him to tell me. I can't wait to see more of this.
Yeah, I really hope that we'll get some more of this one, or that he'll take this story and move forward with it. It kind of tells it starts off just talking about events, just common everyday events, bad things that are happening, good things that are happening.
Yeah, kind of a revelation, kind of a look at what's going on the planet.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden at the end or towards the end, it just kind of introduces. I don't know. It doesn't even really introduce it. It just kind of starts going in this dark direction, and he starts talking about riots being his favorite, and
yeah, and it leads you to believe he's a Satan kind of character,
right?
Without the whole fire and brimstone in the background, you don't really know.
Yeah, and it's not the last page. It's like it's a couple pages before that. The picture that I just love the most is it's two panels, and the top panel is just these evil set of eyes, and
yeah,
the bottom is just this smile, and all it says is, "Yet through it all, I watch and I wait," and I'm like, "Oh man, this is awesome!" That was, again, definitely my favorite one. The art is very dark, but it's supposed to be. There's a lot of it's both of these stories are all black and white. And at the beginning of Real Horror, it's almost when they're talking about some of the good events that are going on in the world, it's a lot of whites and a little bit of dark. And then as they start getting into the more darker things and the bad things that are happening, the riots and the murders and that kind of stuff, it becomes a lot darker on the page, a lot less, the darks are the prevalent, and it's just really.
Yeah, and in the one panel where they're showing the cops in riot gear, doesn't that almost look like it could be a picture in a newspaper?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that well done.
Yeah, it was really good. So, I've reached out to Patrick, and I hope that he's either listening in tonight. Well, he might not be listening in tonight because he's over in the UK.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning there, isn't it?
Yeah, so if he is, hi Patrick. If you're not, hello future Patrick. So I hope that we get some more Real Horror. I hope he's got a story to go on with this character.
I agree. I'm hoping the same thing.
Yeah. That was the first book he sent us. The other book that he sent us, this one, The Flesh Tones #1. You can go find it on his store, and we'll put a link to that on the Facebook page. and we'll put a link to it in the show notes because I don't have it here. But you can also find all of it. You can find all the information on Patrick and Dark Pond Creations on his Facebook page, which is obviously facebook.com/Dark Pond Creations. So definitely go check him out there, like him, because this is really good. Flesh Tones is just kind of 2 one-shot stories. Like, they're not intended, or at least they don't have to be carried on. Then the next book that he sent us, The Meek, which he wrote with Carlos Marino, and the art was done by Carlos Marino. So this book is your standard comic book fare. This is the #1 issue, and it's got to go somewhere because the story doesn't end in this first issue. So it's to kind of set it up. It's about a virus that has taken over the world, and in 90 days, I think it's 90 days, or maybe this one isn't the one that has 90 days. 90% of the population is wiped out, and they are all zombies.
It's been 6 months, it says, since the world went to hell.
That's right. I had my numbers all mixed up.
It's understandable. It's Monday evening, you know.
No kidding. It's been 6 months since the world changed in a blink of an eye. Over 90% of the human population fell sick and died in intense agony. But now they are coming back and getting stronger, more intelligent with each passing day. Somehow, Edward has to survive only with a bag of weapons and a faithful dog named Buddy. But who is more human? Edward, a man who cuts down the creatures without a second thought, or the undead things that stalk the earth? I will say when I got the little synopsis, that first page, and looked at that little synopsis, I was a little worried. I was worried that this was going to be a Walking Dead, was going to be too similar to Walking Dead.
I was afraid it was going to be too similar to I Am Legend.
Well, once I got started reading, I realized that, hey, this isn't Walking Dead. This is a lot more like I Am Legend. But
it is. But thankfully, these are zombies and not vampires.
Well, and I never read I Am Legend, the actual book.
Have you should. It? Yes, you should read it.
I have not read it because if it's more than 22 pages long, I have a hard time staying focused on it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have nearly the pictures.
Yeah, pictures keep me going. But this, I don't know. You tell me, since you've read I Am Legend, how close do you feel that this is running to I Am Legend?
You know, my first reaction was, hey, this is like I Am Legend, but it ended at the fact that the similarities are a guy and his dog. And then it just goes away from being I Am Legend after that. There's some characters that take place in the shadows that you don't know who the hell these people are. They're not zombies, and they're surveilling this guy. So it's like, all right, who are these people? This is definitely not I Am Legend. And there seemed to be just more going on than just a guy and his dog just trying to survive. There seemed to be something else in the background at work. And the reason I liked this first story with the Meek is just like the man, I can't remember anything today. Just like Real Horror, it left me wanting more. I want to know who these people are. I want to know what happens to this guy. And in the few short pages that is a comic book, I actually cared about this guy and his dog.
Yeah.
Which you know, kudos to Patrick for writing it that way, so I would actually care. And so with that said, Yeah, it's a bit I Am Legend, but it's only because it's a guy and a dog, and in the beginning you think they're the only people left that aren't zombies.
Yeah,
But
and
but
by
from
the
there the similarities disappear.
well, that's good to hear. It, it's kind of fun, or I thought it was kind of fun because it this book left me with a lot of questions. Like it got me thinking, and like I wanted to know, okay, why is the main character Edward or Eddie? Why is he under surveillance? Like, why is somebody watching him? And
Exactly. And who are
and
these people?
well, and at the end, like on the last page or one of the later pages, it almost looks like they're a hit squad. It's not just surveillance. It almost looks like they're going to be going after him. Like, why?
Yeah,
What
there's some
makes
serious weapons there.
what makes this guy so special? Because all we see in this book is him and his dog. Like they're wandering the streets, very similar to I've only seen the movie of I Am Legend, so Will Smith is about all I've got for this. Um, but you know, in the beginning of this book, you see him wandering the streets, not really sure why he's wandering the streets. Then he runs across a kid, and um, and then he ends up taking the kid back to, I guess, his house. But he almost had to like break into his house, or maybe it's just his niece Kelly. Maybe it's just her house, and he doesn't have a key for it, so he had to break in. I'm not real sure, but that makes me ask the questions like, well, why? How are all three of these people still around, and what are they doing there? Why haven't they gotten out of Dodge yet?
Yeah.
So I'm curious. You know, I want to see what this goes. I want to see where this goes. Um, what'd you think about the art, Kip? White. It's all black and white.
It's all black and white, and I like the way he uses the shadow play of the black ink. You know, especially in the beginning where some zombies are coming out of a tunnel. I think that was played really well with the art. There's a few places where I look at it and go, man, the faces are not super great, but
Yeah.
not enough that it was like I'm gonna hate this because of it or anything like that. It's
Right.
just,
Right.
you know, I
Well, and sometimes it almost looked like he was doing the one thing that is um, or he was trying to avoid the one thing that I criticize a lot of comic books for, and that is the faces are all like they have no emotion. When they do a close up of a face, you can't look at the face and say, oh, this person's scared, or oh, this person's excited. You have to read the text to it to understand what the emotion is. The Carlos, you could tell, was trying not to fall into that because the faces were very like he was trying to put emotion into them. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
yeah.
But I mean, I don't know how long Carlos has been an artist and doing comic books. I mean, from what Patrick's kind of hinted at, telling me he hasn't been doing this for very long. So I would assume that the artists he has going with him are not, you know, that are not haven't been doing this for 20 years. Um, so these guys are probably still working on fine tuning that. And honestly, there's a lot. Hell, there's comic books that I read that these guys are, you know, been doing comic books for as long as I can remember, and they still can't get the faces right. So more power to Carlos for trying to get that and make that emotion come through in the art as well as the text. Um, I agree with you that the way he used the black and whites to show like the dark alleys and the way he worked those, I thought that was great. I thought that worked really well. Um, the only complaint I had was kind of similar um, to your complaint was Emma, the girl who's supposed to be a young girl, at least if you go with the difference between Edward and Emma, her face looks very, very similar to Kelly, which is, I'm from what I can pick up, is Edward's niece, because she calls him Uncle Eddie.
Yeah.
So, and she's a lot taller, a lot bigger than Kelly. So when there's a panel with the two of them standing there, you can tell who's who. But when they get the close-ups, if just their faces, sometimes it's hard to distinguish the two of them. That is a common problem with black and white comics. I have the same problem with a few characters in The Walking Dead as well, and some of the other black and white comics that I read. Because you've got two colors to work with, so you can't say, well, this person has blonde hair and this person has brown hair. That's how you tell them apart. So, I mean, it's a minor thing, and it's not going to make me stop reading it, because I'm sure as I keep, as more issues of this come out, it's only going to fine tune on who's who, and you're going to be able to pick that up a lot easier.
Oh yeah, he's going to get better as it go. I mean, there's a lot of panels where you're like, wow, that's some real talent there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I said, it's not distracting at all or anything like that. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah. No, and this was good. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. When I reached out to Patrick today to kind of see what the status is for some of this stuff, he did tell me that he is currently working on issue 2 of The Meek. And the second issue is going to kind of tell us a little bit about what has happened. It's going to go kind of more into the background on what happened. But he tells me, although that issue is going to be taking place mostly in the past, going to have a, here's my air quotes, shocking cliffhanger set in the present day. So, that's not a bad way, and if he can write that really well, more power to him, because not a lot of people can do that bouncing around back and forth between past and present. That'll be a real test for both him and the artist to see if they can make that work and not make it jarring. See how that's handled.
That's always the trick, is not to make it jarring,
well,
or even or have it not go unnoticed that, oh, wait a minute, this is a time shift.
Exactly, and it's hard to do. It's hard to do when you just have two colors that you're working with. When you're just working with black and whites, it's really hard to pull off. And so I'm excited to see it. I hope he sends a copy our way, and I hope go check out his Facebook page, check out his store, support this guy, because I think he's on to it. He's got a talent, so who knows? Like his Facebook page again, Dark Pond Creations on Facebook, and who knows, maybe you'll be you can be one of those hipsters to say, I knew this guy before he was famous.
That's right. And the more famous he gets, the more you can act disinterested because you are a hipster.
Exactly. Patrick did also tell me that Fleshtones issue 2 is in the works as well, and again, it's going to contain a couple of short stories, one of which he's picked out that kind of goes into Patrick's past. It tells a little bit about it's a little bit more personal story to Patrick, so it sounds good to me. And the other one, the second story for that book hasn't been picked out yet. And Patrick is not just sitting back with those two books either. He has another book that he's working on, and this one, Kip, just this little bit that he sent me, I can't wait to hear it because it sounds really kind of cool. But it's a one-shot story, so it's just going to take place in one book. but it's involving murder, religion, and love in a 1920s circus.
Excellent.
I mean, come on. That just sounds intriguing right there.
Absolutely.
There was what was it? Was it Carnival? Was it a TV show on HBO?
Yes.
That's kind of what it like. That's when I read that little line from Patrick. I'm like, oh, that sounds just like that TV show from HBO. So I like it. I like it.
Should be good.
So the one last thing that I wanted to plug for Patrick here, because he was nice enough to send us review copies for these books, was he is currently working on a charity project for a local mental health charity. Now I made the comment before. Again, remind everybody he's in UK. He's not in the United States. But if any listeners we got out there for the UK, hit up Patrick and see if you can't help, because it's always good to hear people trying to give back.
That's right, and all you people are nice. That's what we're telling everybody.
Yeah. Don't be so hateful. That's our job.
At least mine, anyway.
So what else you got there, Mr. Kip?
It's past my bedtime and I'm ready to sack out.
All right, ladies and gents. We're going to call that a night. Again, thank you, Patrick Scattergood, for sending us these comics. Go check him out. Facebook.com/Dark Pond Creations. Also, you can check us out at our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. You can also check us out on Facebook and Google+. Just search for Geek Vice. You can follow us on Twitter at Geek Vice. You can follow Kip Killigan on Twitter at Kip Killigan.
Imagine that.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. And you can't follow me yet because I'm still worthless. I really suck at this.
You and me both, sir.
So, all right, guys. Send us an email at geekvice@gmail.com. If you got anything you want to throw out there, tell me why I should be watching, or why I should continue playing Witcher 2. Tell Kip why he should be playing more Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, you don't really need to tell me that, but I'll do it anyway.
Or go purchase Patrick's books. Go purchase the comics from Dark Pond Creations and email us and let us know if we were right on target or if you think we're full of shit.
Well, one of us is. You'll have to figure out which one.
I am wearing waders.
Well played.
All right, guys. We will talk to you later.
See ya!
Yeah.